Good morning, everyone. THQ family, it's good to be with you today. Cannot believe it's the middle of October. Some days seem to stretch on for years, while other days seem to go by quite quickly. It's just hard to imagine every day and everything happening. And we're all in this together, we're all in the same boat. And I just want you to know that I appreciate you today. And I'm praying for whatever it is that you're going to be facing. I pray that you will know that the Lord is walking with you and that there are those who love you very much and those that are praying over you. Please keep praying for one another. Remember the Kerno family in your prayers. Jeff, who used to work in our community relations and development department, he passed away. We want to pray for comfort and peace for his family during these days. Really is hard for me to wrap my head around the last several months. I know I say that a lot, but it's the truth. Just when I think I can figure things out, they change, and then I don't really know what to think or what to do. We are living a new normal. I'm not even sure if we can call it normal. I hope this isn't normal. Our lives have changed so much. And most days, it seems like it's never going to end. I don't really know what to expect each day. I just try to be productive, try to be a positive influence in my family, and look for the little blessings around each corner. We will come through this. I know we will. And we will be thankful to the Lord for his provision through all of it. I'm convinced of this fact. God is with us. He loves us. He understands. He longs to walk with us during these days. So make room in your day for the one who loves you the best. I want to tell you a little something. I belong to a group called the Primary Immune Deficiency Foundation. When I learned of my immune disease several years ago, I was given this information from my doctor. And it's been really helpful to me as I've journeyed through my illness. I've been able to connect with people who share my diagnosis. I've been able to read studies on new medications and keep informed on new developments. I've also learned a great deal from being a part of this group, being able to share with others and know that I'm not alone and that there are other people that are experiencing the very same things that I am. There's one thing, though, that I learned while being a part of this group and doing my own research, and it's this. In medical school, many doctors learn the saying, when you hear hoofbeats, think horses, not zebras. And they are taught to focus on the likeliest possibilities when making a diagnosis, not the unusual ones. When I was going through the process of getting a diagnosis, many of my symptoms were horses in that they were a bit obvious, similar to allergies or the flu or the common cold. It was not till I engaged with an immunologist did I have a complete diagnosis, because this doctor looked beyond the horses, the most likely, if you will, and dug a little bit deeper to find out what was really wrong. When he did, I started on a course of treatment that literally saved my life. I've learned to really appreciate the phrase, think zebra. It's the motto of this Primary Immune Foundation. It reminds me not to settle for what's right before my eyes, but to dig a little deeper to find something truly extraordinary. And I want to encourage all of you, all of us today, to think zebra when it comes to people. There are so many ways to see the same person. We see the external and we begin to make decisions based on this. Someone who is quiet, we may think is standoffish. Little do we know that they just haven't engaged in the conversation that they're passionate about. Someone who's not prone to smiling. Maybe something is going on in their world that is heavy and thought-provoking. See what I mean? Things aren't always as they seem. Yet we make decisions based on what's right in front of our eyes. Most of us do. My heart is a little bit heavy today because I think we don't look hard enough. We pay attention to what is likely. God chooses a vision that is redemptive with eyes of grace, compassion, and hope. And he wants us to see people the same way. Jesus saw all men and women as precious. He saw each one through the eyes of divine compassion. He saw Peter not as a rough, loudmouth fisherman, but as a mighty preacher of the gospel. He saw James and John not as quick-tempered, fiery radicals, but as enthusiastic proclaimers of his grace. He saw the deep yearning for genuine love and acceptance in the hearts of Mary Magdalene, the Samaritan woman, and the woman with the issue of blood. He saw Thomas not as a cynical doubter, but as one with sincere questions. Whether they were Jew or Gentile, male or female, or thief on the cross, a centurion, or a demon-possessed madman, Jesus saw their God-given potential and viewed them through salvation's eyes. The disciples would look at the crowds of people gathered around the Savior, but all they could see were the crowds. They were often pretty dispassionate about what they saw. Jesus, on the other hand, was moved deeply with compassion over what he saw. People who were weary and scattered like sheep without a shepherd. The disciples just saw some mobs of nameless people, but Jesus saw fields already white for harvest. The disciples only saw hungry multitudes and thought, we don't want to be bothered by all this. Let's send them away so that they can go into the town villages and get themselves something to eat. But Jesus was personally touched with the needs of the people that crowded around him. He healed their sick and cared for their needs, and then told his disciples, you give them something to eat. Wherever we go and whatever we do, we will encounter other people. And that's by God's design. God has so ordered and arranged our daily lives that he has placed other people within our sphere of influence. And what's more, whenever we go where these people are, the Lord himself goes there with us. In his final words to the disciples before he ascended to the Father, Jesus said, and lo, I'm with you always, even to the end of the age. And so throughout our day, Jesus is with us when we make contact with people. He is sovereignly placed in our lives. Our encounters with people are not accidental. We can take it as fact that those encounters are divinely arranged by him, and he accompanies us in them. Jesus sees the people we see in these everyday encounters along the road of life. But what he sees when he looks at those same people is considerably different from what we see. I'm asking you to think zebra today. Look beyond what you see and recognize what you don't see. Pay attention to whomever God has put in your path. It's for a reason, a divine reason. There is something someone can do for you, or something you can do for that person. It may be a smile. It may be an air hug, a nod of acknowledgement. It may even be a cup of coffee across a wide table. My prayer today is that God would open the eyes of your heart so that your interaction with his people would be meaningful, helpful, and filled with grace and mercy. Ephesians 5:1-2 say, therefore, be imitators of God as beloved children and walk in love, as Christ loved us and gave himself up for us, a fragrant offering and sacrifice to God. I read these words that I'm going to share with you. It's part of a song. I don't know the song. But this is part of the chorus by a gentleman named Brandon Heath. And I think it speaks to what we've been talking about today. And this is what it says. Give me your eyes for just 1 second. Give me your eyes so I can see everything that I keep missing. Give me your love for humanity. Give me your arms for the brokenhearted, ones that are far beyond my reach. Give me your heart for the ones forgotten. Give me your eyes so I can see. My family, today, think zebra. God bless you.